Welcome to the Salt Circle podcast. My name is Hank. With me, he's a dad. It's Ben.
Spoilers? Oh my god. Everybody listening to this probably already fucking knows.
Also, it'll be the title.
Yeah. We could have done it clickbait style though. It's not too late. You could title it like "Podcast Destroyed," "Podcast Ending?" ? The thing will be like a really shitty drawn picture of me with like a screaming baby. Yeah, I'm a dad.
Yeah,
it happened.
Congratulations.
Thank you. January 31st at would have been what 10:20 a.m. Central Time. My daughter was born. It was 7:20 p.m. local time in St. Petersburg. Yeah, I mean it's been fucking rough, man. Not even like from a perspective of speak of the devil. Anya texted. I don't think she texted text. A minute and a half in. That's good stuff. I mean we'll see, I guess. We'll see how this goes. It's at the time where she this is very topical. So she's in Russia. Anya went to Russia about a month before, and I'm just gonna say I'm talking to Hank. She's been normally I wouldn't, but like things have been fine enough that I'm comfortable with it. Obviously, if things aren't fine, then fuck Hank. We get out of here. But yeah, so she went to Russia about a month before the due date, and I went to America because I didn't want to chill alone for however long. And our plan is, wait for the baby to develop some immunity, get vaccines, the initial rounds of stuff, all that good shit before flying on a plane. And my family and stuff was all like concerned about the fact that I wouldn't get to see my daughter for so many months. And I'm like, yeah, that like sucks, but we're doing the things that we have decided to be right, like for best health outcomes and like highest, statistically the best shit that we think we can do and blah blah blah. So I don't mind. Which is like fine, but holy shit, February and March are rough for like me not being able to be there to help, because like Adi's parents have been helping out and her sister a little bit, but like they have jobs and shit, they have lives or whatever, and I'm like and they're not like with her all the time. Like she said if she needs someone to come take the baby, like she needs to like yell for him or whatever. She's like, if you were here, you're just right here, so you can take the fucking baby.
It's true.
So that's been rough, but everybody's healthy. She's like smiling more, she's laughing more. This applies to Anya and the baby. So it's going well. Everything's chill mostly. It's wild. I was laughing. I was laughing because what was it? I forget what exactly the catalyst was, but there was a brief period where like there was some stuff that was a little abnormal or whatever, and I was talking with my mom, and I'm like, it's so wild that I used to, like, not that long ago, I was getting, like, a good morning selfie or something from Anya. And I was like, oh, that's so nice, da-da-da. Now I get a picture of, like, a diaper full of poop. And I'm like, yo, let's go! She pooped! She's, like, constipated or whatever. Just a radical shift in what is, cause to be happy. Which is expected.
Priorities shift.
Yeah. I didn't know. That's we've been planning for a bit, because fun fact, you were like one of the first people I told. Like
Hell yeah.
Because as soon as I found out, I'm like, the podcast is going to look different.
Oh, yeah.
We need to plan.
Uh-huh.
So
It's a thing.
But it's been a hot minute now. It's been like since summer that we've had to like kind of wrap our heads around stuff, and we've talked a little bit about like what that'll look like, shorter form content, probably slightly, probably a much more inconsistent release schedule or recording schedule at the very least.
Yes. No, my getting the podcast out every week totalitarianism. I was like, I have to let this go. This is just not.
Yeah, I mean,
it was fun. I liked being able to do that, but it's not going to keep up.
Most likely not. I think it's like a temporary thing though, probably. How temporary is temporary, I don't know. But
yeah,
because I mean, when I get back, and then when Anya gets back when we all meet in Armenia, it's like zero fucking time for like at least a few months. Like,
yeah,
she's done her fair share of the work and more, so I'm like making up, right? So it's like
we have this weird window where you're not there 100%. So there's sleep time, or whatever, when there is a window.
Yeah, there's actually like a window right now. There might be a window like when I get there, because I get there and then she comes back like a couple weeks later or a few weeks later, depending on stuff. So there'll be like that period maybe, but then we're closer to time zones, so maybe that period won't line up as much. Difficult to predict.
Yeah, who fucking knows?
The thing that like the I don't want to say the saving grace, but like the thing that can lead to like slightly more consistency if we time or like plan real well or something, is that there are going to be periods where she goes to Russia with the baby, and then I would maybe go to or at the very least I'll be in Armenia, or I might just go to America. Like that would be my time to take a quick visit, where otherwise I don't think I'll be coming home for a hot minute outside of those times. So like in those periods, in theory, we'd maybe be able to get a little more in, but it really depends on like what we're doing. Because like we're both going to be doing stuff, right? Like we talked a little bit about how episodes might look more like, oh, we read like an issue of this comic, or a volume maybe, or something, or watched an episode or two of a show, or like talking about shorter stuff like that together, or just like shorter form salt piles effectively. Because like I'm still going to be reading stuff on my phone, or I can watch an episode of something while I hold the baby or whatever. So
it's not like fucking life ends or whatever. Just like recording time is going to be at a premium or whatever. So
yeah,
what is anything we're going to talk about or whatever? Can't yap for 3 hours. Anymore.
There's not going to be a 3.5 hour discussion about things, or like oh, we just got talking and we just kept going. It's like,
yeah,
the 20-minute mark hits and I smash the stop button and bail. Yeah, I mean it'll be the fact that like if we are doing shorter stuff, there's like a better chance of getting like slightly more consistent. Like not still weekly, but like in my head, without possibly knowing, like 20 minutes every other week sounds more feasible than like an hour recording once a month. you know? Like finding a 20-minute slot slightly more frequently, if I had to guess. Not that I'd fucking know it all.
Yeah, we don't ultimately we don't know how it's going to work. We don't know how it's going to go.
Yeah. No. Like
and there's like
zero.
Like again, in my head, like I always assumed like, well, eventually Ben and Anya will have a kid and then the podcast will end. So anything that we get to do at this point is gravy to me, honestly.
It's not gonna end. Like, there'll be stuff. I think the thing.
But I mean, yeah, and I really mean for like, you know, eventually, maybe we could do it again. But there's like these years.
There's gonna be a period where it's like unstable as shit.
Yeah.
I think the other
and like
thing
just like priority, like if you could just like. If you have a baby and you could just look at the baby, like you don't want to record a podcast,
yeah, no,
but
dude,
you're just in this you're in this window where you can't. So
yeah, no, it's it's definitely gonna be like someone. Man, what was someone saying? I forget. Someone made some offhand comments about like, oh, when we're with the baby, and then like you won't get to do, or I think maybe it was my mom, or I think said something because like I'm always playing games when I'm here, right? And she's like, well, you won't be able to do that when like you're with the baby. I'm like, I'm not gonna fucking want to do this. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's more about want than
I'm gonna sit and stare at her.
Yeah.
Squish her cheeks or whatever. But I think the thing that I am kind of planning on is that like I don't want to stop doing content with you. Like we could, you know, read through a thing together and then ideally we get to like talk about it a little bit, or even I sort of I don't think I mentioned it all, but I sort of thought like, is there some way that we could get like an asynchronous thing where like if we're both reading a thing and we just don't really have time to record like getting quick reactions or something, or like I don't know. That's obviously like a very cheap substitute. It's not quite the same, but I just like the thing that, you know, like we've talked about of going through a thing together and then having that as a basis for future stuff that we go through, because that's like half of it, right?
True. And I've done like I did a article with Nathan once where we did like I wrote a paragraph, then he wrote a paragraph.
Oh,
like
hell
having
yeah.
an asynchronous talk about it was Alien Covenant. So that's a format that can work, and we could maybe even do an audio version.
Oh
or
man,
like I record like
it's
thoughts and then listen to your thoughts and record a thing or whatever.
It's a 3-hour podcast that we recorded over 2 months.
Yeah,
It does sentence at a time.
Podcast by mail.
Hell yeah, dude. I mean, I'm actually down for that. That'd be a good little thing. Cause like doing a quick, that's like a thing. It was actually really good. Doing my stream that I did from my phone. Cause like that mic is actually pretty fucking serviceable. Like it's not like, I think I could just, if I can't sit down at the computer and like put on an actual mic, I could just use the phone in a pinch and I think it would be okay. And I can do that while I'm holding the baby. I mean, I could hold the baby at the computer too. There's literally nothing stopping me, I guess.
That's true.
But like conceptually. Yeah, so that's
it might even be easier if your computer thing was on the table rather than in one of the hands you needed for the baby.
That's true. Say. Yes.
You have a limited number of limbs.
You don't know that. You don't know how my limb situation has changed since we saw each other.
I didn't say a number. I said limited.
You don't know that either. Limitless limbs.
Out here like Tien, just growing extra arms.
Hell yeah. That's the way to do it. That's what being a parent is, so I've been told. Somehow holding the baby, the bottle, the bag, the stroller.
True.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Like, all the stuff that, a vast stuff that I've watched before the podcast, but then a lot of the shit that we've done on the podcast, I now get to introduce someone else to. I get to form someone's taste in media. It's exciting.
To an extent.
No.
Always.
This is a dictatorship.
You know. Yeah.
Someone in the fighting game Discord made the joke of like, when you're not looking, I'm going to teach her Tekken instead of Street Fighter. I'm like, if you think my daughter's playing anything other than Soul Calibur, you're insane. Going to cut her teeth on weapon fighters.
Yeah. I was thinking about that in terms of like what shape kids have access to stuff, and because some of it's not like, you know, always determined by like sit them down and show them this thing, make them watch this, but it is like limited by what they have access to.
Yeah,
like what the
and that's a huge thing for like modern parenting, right? That's such a fucking like, you don't want to not give them access to stuff like there was a whole thing. I mean, when they're really young, it's kind of like okay, we're not going to give you unfettered access to the internet. But even when Ani's brother was like 13, 14, you know, he's getting to the point where like all of his friends have social media and they have like all these things, and it's like, okay, you have to strike that balance between like, yes, you should engage with this and like get to participate in a thing that your friends are doing because it's not like they're jumping off a cliff, but at the same time, like you can't just be out here like raw dogging Facebook and, and Instagram. Like, you need to be smart and like sit them down and whatever.
Yeah.
And not to mention fucking the insanity that is watching YouTube with autoplay on as a kid.
Oh my God.
Getting into the actual horror shit. Like
YouTube for children who can't type in like words yet.
Yeah. Elsa, Spider-Man, fart poop. Like just the most cursed shit. But it's, you know, I'm glad that like I spend so much time on the internet that I can now hopefully shelter my offspring from the horrors I've seen.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a thing. You're more informed about stuff.
Dude, for real.
Than certainly my parents ever were.
Oh, well, I mean, like anyone would be, right? Well, okay, I shouldn't say anyone. Many people we know would be. Like, I think if you're online a whole bunch, like we are, like it's hard not to have an awareness of like, okay, you don't get to fucking watch One Guy, One Jar until you're older. Like, Two Girls, One Cup is not for the children.
I mean, no one should just look at that. So
yeah, no, but like if you're gonna go, like you can seek it out when you're a legal adult or whatever. Like, I don't want there to be like, oh, what's that? And then they fucking type it like, no thanks. I mean, and with TV and stuff, like that's kind of where I don't want to really go through the work of setting up like a block, because that just seems like a lot of effort. Maybe there's an easy way to do it. I'd be kind of surprised actually if there wasn't some program that makes like you have your folders of numbered episodes of shows and like a program that keeps track of where you are in each, like the last thing that played, and it can like play them in the same order, like on the same day. That'd be kind of cool. But otherwise, it's just like I will hand pick something or like something on like I will choose things instead of just like flipping on the TV. Mostly because we have ways to avoid ads now, so there's not really a reason to subject anyone to that.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I can make sure they're getting that good shit. You know, you do Dragon Ball into Sailor Moon into Avatar.
Look, you're still far away from that stuff.
No, we're not. She's gonna be like 3 months old by the time I see her, dude. We're already gonna be in.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
She's already like babbling and stuff. She might be saying Kamehameha soon.
Hell
Doing
yeah.
a little motion with her hands.
Her watching that cursed Spider-Man show for babies, where they're like all weird babies.
Didn't I check that out? I watched like an episode of that. It was not good.
I think you said you did, yeah.
There was like nothing redeeming about it.
Yeah, it's
It's like super for babies.
Yeah, uh-huh.
I mean, look, sometimes there's
that's what you have on your hands. You've got a baby. Not fucking a child yet.
She's gonna watch Seven Samurai.
Just show her Kurosawa movies on loop.
Yeah, that's it. That's the play. I mean, look, sometimes those kid like shows for babies also have stuff for like parents that might be watching. That show was just not one of those in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. It's not Bluey, I guess. Not that I've watched Bluey.
I've watched a little
but
bit.
I've heard a lot of parents talk about Bluey.
I think, dude, the Bluey glazing is like so unreal. I'm not saying it's bad, but like I don't like feel the need to go out and watch it. Like,
yeah,
there's, you know, I guess if my kid stumbles onto it and wants to watch Bluey, we'll maybe check out Bluey, because I know it's not like a thing that needs to be avoided, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, it just, and also like to me, like someone without children, I think a lot about kids media in terms of like there's kids media that for parents that like their kids to watch, and there's kids media that for kids that's the trash that they need or whatever.
Yeah,
like there's like a thing about being subversive that is important for kids to get. I don't know.
Yeah, I
mean, I think about his essay Karen Gillan wrote about the comic hook Jaws a lot. I was like, no parent would let a kid read this. Or no, rather it was like right in the window where it's like a parent wouldn't take this away from a kid. It wouldn't give it to them.
Yeah, no.
It has to be in the window.
Yeah, exactly.
It has to be just fucked up enough, but not too fucked up. Like horribly violent, but it is just a shark, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, man. It's a whole. There's so fucking much. Or like, I mean, it's the classic, right? Like I've been thinking a lot. I mean, even with like media and video games and music and stuff, like the not wanting to make the mistakes that I think my parents did. Not necessarily any giant mistakes, but like my mom took away a Green Day album because they swore too much. Like now she doesn't give a shit, but like back in the day she was like worried or whatever. I'm not going to do that shit. I'm gonna fuck up in like different and unforeseeable ways.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very exciting prospect.
Yeah.
And it's also
You don't know how it'll go.
no, that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
He might hate Dragon Ball, and then I'll be crushed.
Mm-hmm. True.
She'll like something. I got way too much in the tank. She's she's gonna like something.
Please.
Please, anything. I'm begging you. I also have like a slightly wide, like if she likes, well, you know what an interesting one is? Almost had to eat my words. I'm going to phrase it differently. I think SpongeBob is a very interesting case because I grew up with old SpongeBob, and right about the time it was something to watch. And right about the time that first movie came out, I was like, that was like the last thing. I was like, oh, cool, there's a movie. And I watched it, and that was like the last deal. And then after that, I was kind of old enough. I stopped watching SpongeBob. And coincidentally, that's when it got shit because the creator left. He was like, we did 3 seasons in a movie. I don't know what. We're done, right? Nickelodeon said, fucking no. Money? No?
Never.
Money,
never
yes. Yeah.
Yeah, but to a kid, it's all the same thing.
So that's the thing, right? I don't want to have to be watching new SpongeBob. So as far as my kid is concerned, there were only 3 seasons in a movie of SpongeBob, and we can watch those on loop. She doesn't. Hopefully she won't care. It's SpongeBob, right? Like, they don't. Whatever. Look. My understanding.
The day she learns that there's new SpongeBob, though.
Yeah, someday she's going to be old enough to realize I was
secret.
gaslighting her about the existence of more SpongeBob.
Then it's only going to be the pull of the other stuff is only going to be more powerful.
The forbidden SquarePants seasons.
Uh-huh.
Or she'll follow the ideal, and she'll be like, wow, these are ass. Thank you, Dad. I'll be like, you're welcome. I got you.
But you can't predict that shit.
No. And I'm not fucking concerned about it, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think in the past I've been a little bit, I don't even know what the best term is. I mean, I do. It's hard for me to distinguish a little bit, like how much of an old man I'm being about like many kids' cartoons versus like the shit that I watched back in the day. And I know like it's the same vein as like the damn kids these days, which has been going on since the dawn of time. And like what stuff is actually like kind of bad. And I think with some things, like with food, I think food is kind of easy to like gauge a little bit. For like stuff that's objectively kind of not ideal to be giving. Like I'm not giving my kid Mountain Dew, you know? You're not putting Mountain Dew in a sippy cup if you're a reasonable person.
True.
But like stuff with media is a lot more fucking vague.
Yeah.
It's way more difficult to navigate.
But it's also just, it's going to be like, ultimately, it's going to be determined by like what she's drawn to. Like you can put stuff in front of her, but ultimately, if it doesn't hit it all, you're not going to like keep putting it in front of her, probably.
Her language to describe like what she likes and dislikes is going to be so fucking skewed by like talks with you. Like that I bring to her. She's going to be like, this one really isn't hitting. This isn't, she's watching like Batman animated series and she's like, I just don't think this is the vibe. And I'm like, that's fine. That's okay. Sometimes it's not the vibe. That's all right.
Where's the hangout time?
She's fucking watching. Oh, that'd be so good. That'd be so fucking good. Where's the hangout time would be like a peak moment. It's like going to the memory book or whatever. Oh, that's so good. Yeah, that's like that's the fun stuff to look forward to, right?
Mm-hmm. And it is like you're the programmer in a world where you're not just gonna like put TV in front of her.
Yeah.
Like there's so much more out there that you can be so much more picky about, like what's available.
And I mean, there's like the stuff that we watch and that like I have on hand and that I'll have on hand, because like there's stuff that I don't have currently that I would download to like throw on if she wants something, right? But like there's, if she's like, if like I'm seeing a pattern in the stuff that she likes, there's a whole fucking world out there of other things that are fine that I just haven't taken in. True. And it's true for like anything. Like that's, food, music, hobbies. Because that's like the other, I mean, before she was born, it was like, oh my God, what's she going to look like? What, like, whose eyes will she have? Whose hair will she have? All that shit. Now it's like, what kind of person is she going to be?
Yeah.
I hope not a dick. That'd be sad. Here's hoping.
Yeah. She'll probably, I feel like it's jerk level increases, then decreases, then increases again. As they go from like baby to toddler to child, to teenager.
Oh, there's that like part when they're toddlers or whatever where they're just like ruthless, like they don't give it, they're just saying shit. There's a little clip online of this guy. It was like from his Ring, like his doorbell cam or whatever, and he's like taking his daughter and kids to school or whatever, and like they're coming out of the house, and he's like closing the door, and his daughter is like, I don't know, like 3, 4, something, super little. And completely unprompted, she's like, I love mommy more than you, daddy. And he's like, thanks. And like, you can't get fucking pissed. And he's like, thanks for that. They just like, walk away. It's like, holy shit. Oh, it's so sad. Guy can't even defend himself. He just has to fucking step it up.
Yeah. Well, that's just, look. Just being honest.
Something, yeah, man. And they are like, they'll just like say shit.
Yeah.
My Anya has a great story from when she was little about like how these people were over that her parents knew were relatives or some shit. I don't know. And one of them, she was like huffed by or something, and I don't even know if this person would have gotten the reference, but she called them the name of a cat from like I think a well-known storybook that like there was a chance that they knew just because it was old enough. But the name of the cat is like this cat that has like a big mustache, because like the woman had a mustache or whatever. And then like cut forward like a year or two or whatever, like the next time she saw it, she was like feeling hella guilty about it, because in that period she had developed a conscience.
Hell yeah.
She like apologized, and the person didn't even fucking like recollect it or take, because of course.
Yeah.
It's just, shit's so funny, man.
Sometimes kids will just say things.
And it's incredible. Or like the first time they swear. That's never not the first swear word, I think, is like never not funny. Like my brother's first swear word was over like the chicken in KFC because it didn't look like the commercial. Mine was over a video game, like my Game Boy game in the car, and my mom's like, "Where did you learn that?" And I said, "Dad."
Hell yeah.
Like I'm not good. Neither of us are gonna care that much about swearing, but like at all. But it's still gonna be funny as shit. Jeez, lets one rip. Maybe slightly more in Russian. There's like the actual. It's called mat in Russian. There's like 4 words or whatever. Those are like actually still like pretty fucking taboo. Like if you use them, like kind of nobody cares, but like people generally don't really use them in public at all. And if you do, everyone's like, oh, okay, that type of person. But in English at this point, like I don't think most people really care, unless you're in like a meeting with the CEO, just flying off the handle. But I don't know. Maybe...
I don't know. It's like the thing is, like curse words is fucking. It's whatever. Like people that can't say them on TV, I guess. But slurs. Now they're the words you don't say.
Gonna be, yeah.
Like there are words you really don't want to say, and they're not fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they're not fun. Is the thing.
No. And that's at the very least, like those ones I think are easy to like if you don't approve of swearing and your kid comes up to you and is like, why can't I say fuck? Or like, why can't I stick up my middle finger? I mean, I guess the middle finger one is kind of a bad example. Because like you're usually doing that to actively, like, for lack of a better phrase, like be a little mean to someone, right? But for like in a void, if you're just saying shit, like it's not what the best excuse you can give is that it's like offending somebody because they just don't like hearing it. I guess. Though they're an adult and they exist in the world.
Yeah, I don't get it, honestly.
So like that stuff, I mean, and if you get into stuff like eat shit or like fuck you, that's in the same thing as like you're being mean. You're like actively
it's attitude.
It's the same. It's like
the word doesn't matter. It's the intent.
Like what, if you say like frick you, that's the same exact fucking thing. Same meaning.
It's like the way fucking watching fucking Rebels, they say Carabast. It's like they just made up fake fuck. Like we're watching Batman Beyond and they're saying slag or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it's just you just made up a different one, but you're doing it in the same way.
Totally.
It's very funny.
We need our kid show to have some sort of bad word to show frustration, but we don't want to use
Dave Filoni as Chopper is out here fucking swearing up a storm, but it just all sounds like gibberish.
Hell yeah.
But you can tell. Yeah. You know the attitude. The sound is the thing.
Yeah.
That's all those words are, is sound.
Oh, exactly. And see, that's why like the slur bit is super easy to explain, because it's like just saying that like this word hurts some people's feelings, and like it's super fucking easy. I feel like I kind of hate how like the fucking alt-right has kind of co-opted, like, oh, does it hurt your feelings? Like, okay, it might hurt someone's feelings. It's like super easy not to say the word, right? Like, just don't put it in your vocab. It's so easy. And kind of the same is true for like swear words, even if you think it's kind of silly, but like someone really for some reason is made uncomfortable by swearing, like it's so easy to just turn that off. Barring like an accident. Like you stubbed your toe or something. But anything like that is just so easy to like,
Yeah. In theory, I feel like me not saying fuck is actually would take a lot of work, because I've not had any reason to not say fuck enough.
Fuck around my child. I will not really care that much. Me and Anya have talked about that. 'Cause, like, we walk around swearing like sailors.
Yeah.
We don't give a shit. And especially for her, right? Because foreign language, she doesn't care at all. Her brother, when he was like 11, was saying fucking. My parents thought it was the funniest thing in the world because, like, he's little. He's too young to be swearing or whatever. But it's a foreign word. He doesn't care. We've kind of talked of, like, I've already said, like, I'm always making up these nice little songs about Anya that are always super polite and well-intentioned while I'm going around the kitchen or whatever. I'm like, oh, I probably should reel that one in. I probably shouldn't be calling Anya names, like, while I'm chopping up a cucumber or something. But it's fine. I can do nice songs. I just, I switch we go to compliments. It's just that easy.
Yeah. That background radiation of stuff now matters extremely.
Oh, yeah. Dude, one of her friends, they have a kid. I think she's like 1.5, maybe 2. They were gossiping about, like, his brother's girlfriend or something. And then she was walking around, like, saying, brother's girlfriend this, brother's girlfriend that. They're like, uh-oh.
Like, got a little fucking snitch.
Yeah, dude, exactly. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to have to be so careful because Anya really likes gossip.
That's very funny.
Yeah. It's also is very exciting because my sister is also pregnant, and she fucking found out like barely after I did. Can't let me have anything. She like it was the craziest thing, but I'm very excited because now it's a competition, right? Now it's gonna get ruthless.
You gotta win parenthood.
I have to win. Honestly, like not fucking actually. Of course. Like, it's awful. It has been kind of nice though for like some stuff with my parents. Not that my parents have been like bad or anything, but there was like a couple of things super early on where they were kind of figuring out. Like, me and my sister are a different generation, different people, different preferences. But me and my sister line up pretty well on some stuff.
Sure.
And it's kind of been nice. Front. Yeah. So now I'm like, we got that going. Or like early on. The culture in Russia for telling people is very, not to say everybody in America does this, but at least around me, the culture is like, we're going to shout it from the fucking heavens. We're going to, like, there are so many random people in my bumfuck town that now know that I'm having a kid. And I have no idea who these, like, we're out to eat and someone my parents know rolls up and, like, my dad is telling him, like, my entire life story, like, he was in Russia and then he had to move and then, like, all this. And, like, I'm like, who was that? They know everything about me now, man. Come on. And at this point, like, I pick and choose. I pick and choose those battles. But early on, I'm like, we're telling, like, people we know. We're not, like, yelling about it yet. And my parents had a bit of difficulty with that. And then, like, for my sister, it was kind of the same thing. And she, like, they broke that. And, like, they told people before my sister wanted, and then she was yelling at them, and I got to be the reinforcements.
Hell yeah!
I'm like, you just went through this with me. What do you think would happen?
That's funny.
Yeah. No, it's I don't know. It's an exciting period. Obviously, there's going to be like figurative and a lot of literal shit to deal with, but there's like
yeah,
it's exciting.
Then you're gonna watch this little creature turn into a person, and you're always gonna think, I remember when I changed your poop.
Yeah,
you're just gonna have that in your back pocket when you look at them for all time.
Dude, totally. I mean, like, it's actually very funny how some of that stuff is like changed already. I'm like, there's so many things now where it just immediately, like, it was such a, there's some stuff that was such an instantaneous switch that I'm like, oh, I fucking get it. Like, like I don't think this little loaf is ever gonna be like anything other than my baby. That's I understand now. Or what did we just watched something. What was it? It was something we did for the podcast. What have we done recently for the podcast? What media have we talked about
recently?
Yeah.
Star Wars.
My memory is just trash. Huh. Or maybe I was watching something that it wasn't Ursa Yatra. It was something that I was taking in that I thought we were going to talk about, or maybe it's something that I did on my own that is on Salt Pile. I forget. But like anything with like kids now is like free money. Which it was while Ani was pregnant as well. But
like that Ultraman movie.
Oh, that Ultraman movie was also a big one. Yeah, that was like, wow, this is like the most emotional thing I've ever seen. It was like 2 years ago, like not even a year ago. I would have been like, yeah, it's pretty good. All this, I mean, it's kind of nice though, right? Like that extra is like free feels, kind of neat. In one case, it wasn't. I decided to be a hero for work. Never be a hero for work. Never do that shit. Because I had to. I mean, not have to. It's all fucking gig work. But there was a thing about like validating or verifying a bunch of recent news things, and I saw the headline, and the headline was fine. I didn't like. I just kind of like skimmed it. I'm like, I saw that it existed, but like it gives like a brief description with the headlines. I was like, oh, okay. So I was like going through the articles, and there was one of them, and I had like a tiny like sub thought that like maybe I shouldn't like look at this one, and that like was immediately overruled by no, I'll just like double check and verify it. The article was about a woman who threw her baby out the window. That one was brutal. That one was fucking brutal. That one had me like fucked up for weeks.
Yeah.
Like I was just like minding my business like 3 weeks after the fact, just like in the shower, and then just boom, decimated.
Yeah.
Oh, that shit's brutal. It's so funny though, in a way, because it's like it's so sudden. Who knew it would be like this? Except all those parents. All those parents who said it would be like this.
Literally everyone has said it will be like this, but
why
didn't anyone tell me?
What am I supposed to do? Trust my parents?
It's true. Completely untrustworthy.
Yeah, they don't know shit.
They look at you and said, I fucking changed that guy's poop.
They sure did.
The one my mom always used, I used to be able to, I held you in one hand.
Oh, yeah, man. Hell, scoop you up.
I'm just like, not for a long time. Suck it.
Try it now. Just good stuff.
But yeah, this has been an official warning that there may come a week where there is not a podcast.
Yeah,
that is a likely outcome.
And I hope, yeah, I'm just hoping like I want stuff to like stay active in whatever form that takes. If we do like the podcast by mail with recordings, or if we did like an article of some sort, or even just like a, I don't know, like a little post or something, or probably more likely you than me if you want to do it as an audio thing instead of a written thing, but like just a thing of like, hey, this is what we agreed to like read this week, or we started this or whatever. Because like I don't know. I want people to know that we're like still could be like doing stuff.
Yeah.
That part's not gonna stop. We're gonna do. Look,
so
we have all of
funny.
Initial D to read.
We do have all of Initial D to read. Well, not all of it. I've started that, so it's not all.
Speak for yourself.
It's not all. But you've listened to more of the music than I have, so you're more experienced than the Initial D people care about, I feel like.
Oh, I've gone so deep on that music and so often. I can hook you up with the music if you want. I have all of it.
It's just very funny to me because I think that anime looks like ass.
It does. It's
all
awful.
the music.
I've watched like one
It's
or two
all about the
episodes. I
music.
was like, this is so fucking mid. The music banged so hard. This is what it's to.
It's really bad CG cars.
And they do
if
not
only it
look
were.
like-
If only it were older or newer. Well, either one.
Yeah,
Either way, it would have been better.
Yeah. Yeah, it's in such a gnarly spot for that.
It is very funny finding out like a classic thing is like just not as old as I thought it was. I'm like, oh, there's a CG in it. Fucking wild.
Yeah. No, and it's just so not good. Like when the
Yeah.
cars are going down the road and there's just like the music is saying that I should be like on the edge of my seat and the animation is saying that I could chill. It's not that fast. It's not that intense. Like they're, it's fine.
Yeah.
The music meanwhile is like 300 BPM Eurobeat.
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny.
So funny. But yeah,
But
now I'm imagining giving like audio like war reports on our Discord chats.
Hell yeah.
Guest read.
That's the podcast. That's the podcast format.
That's such a funny idea to me in this moment.
Man, I'm down, dude.
I gotta deliver them like I'm the fucking Clone Wars narrator.
Oh man. This week on Salt Circle Podcast, our boys read what would we be reading? The boys read Captain America whatever. Does Ben think it's ass?
Also, Ben's daughter says she loves her mother more than him.
Ben emotionally devastated.
Emotionally crushed.
But also understands.
Uh-huh.
See, that's going to be like, that'll make for, I mean, that's down the road, but that'll make for great content. I don't even have, like, I mean, I guess presumably if she's watching stuff, I would also be taking it in a little bit, even if I'm doing other things, right? It's not like we have a big old house.
Yeah.
Like, if I was doing stuff, my parents had, like, no fucking idea, generally. Because they were they were way, way off in the kitchen or downstairs or something.
Yeah.
My apartment's not that big. And will not be, ever. So,
Yeah.
I'll be taking it in. But what I was getting at is that, like, someday, if she's watching, like, Dragon Ball, if I, like, when she's too young to really have preferences and I'll just, like, turn on a thing, then I'll have the war report of, like, she laughed at the right moments in Dragon Ball. She was all in on that fart joke.
Hell yeah. It is wild to me thinking about, like, how the, like, ways in which generations of parents become, like, more involved in their kids' lives. Because, like, my parents left me alone to, like, watch a lot of TV. But my dad was, like, left with the kids to, like, go out in the woods and, like his sister, when they was, like, she was, like, 3, got her finger chopped off because they were playing around with an axe.
Hell yeah, brother. That's called
like, the oldest kid was,
memories.
like, 7. They were just, like, they had an axe.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm wandering the wilderness.
I'm a big fan of, like, doing a little outdoor exploration, but that needs to be a little bit more curated than fuck it. See you later.
Just like the ways in which, parenting is changed, or the expectations for parents caring about what their kids are up to.
Yeah.
Or being able to care what their kids are up to, even.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and it's not only stuff like that where it's like a literal safety issue, right? But there's also like, I mean, I remember when I was little, I don't think my dad would remember this at all. Not into like, he'll do like movies and stuff, but like not in the way that your dad apparently does movies. Like we would occasionally watch stuff together, but like there wasn't a ton of lineup all the time until I was much, much, much older. Or certainly nothing like they would listen to me like yap about games or whatever, but there wasn't really any attempt to like learn or anything. It was just like, yeah, go on. Which, fine. But a thing that just is locked in my brain is one time my dad like decided to play Mario Kart with us. Like he got his ass kicked. And that was also how I realized that like if you want to onboard someone to something, I didn't know how to put it in these terms when I was like 8, but sometimes if you want to onboard someone, you got to like ease up just a little bit. Or like decimate them once and then like roll it back a tiny bit if you want to continue doing that thing. Not that he was like huffed, because like when has he played a fucking game? But I remember that so well, and like that's I'm like, I want, no matter what my daughter's into, I want to take an interest. Like my dad suggests because I really hated sports as a kid. He's like, your kids are gonna be into every imaginable sport and da da da. I'm like, yeah, I mean, and like if they're into it, I'm excited to watch them be into a thing that they're into. And I would engage with it. Like if one of my kids gets real, not that I have multiple kids yet, but who knows, if a kid gets really into soccer, I guess I'm gonna like get into soccer. That's as long as they're enjoying themselves. Chess is probably the one thing where I'd maybe try to talk them out of it a little.
Wow.
Chess tournaments are so big than like Russia and Armenia and everywhere else. And Anya said it's always like awful because the tournaments for kids are always just tears. It's always just like kids crying.
Yeah. Get them.
Gaming. Oh.
That's funny.
Chess
is still very popular. Chess.com. Esport.
Chess streamers?
Yeah.
They're out here
it's
gaming.
Weird to me.
Oh, it's wild.
It's weird to me.
I find,
because I've played. I mean, I like chess. I've played a lot of chess. It's not that interesting.
Yeah.
Like I lost interest in it because it became about like to get better at it. It'd just be memorizing stuff, and I'm like, that's not compelling.
I was about to say like, and that's sort of the thing. I was actually gonna on that note, I think that would be a harder thing to engage with, right? Because if you don't have any of that stuff memorized and you're not learning it, trying to talk to someone about chess past like the most surface level imaginable, what are you going to talk about?
True.
There's like nothing. Like if my kid is talking about soccer, that's at least like I can, I have a rough idea of the players and their positions. Even right now, how the movements on the field are going and who should kind of be where and all that stuff. That's like general enough, and there's not like a set thing.
How much your thighs hurt or whatever.
Yeah. Like the physicality of it or like the mental of it, any of that shit.
Yeah.
If my kid is talking to me about like the fucking bong rip opening and then how that goes into the halation defense on top of Newton's asshole gambit. Like I don't know any, like how am I supposed to interact with this?
Exactly.
So I'd feel a little bad, but
yeah. But I feel like that's I mean, that doesn't sound out of pocket to me to what kids get interested in. Like, it's just like a kid listing dinosaur facts at you, right?
That's true,
Except
but that's
cool.
rad.
That's
like,
but it's just like a thing that you don't think is rad, but they're super into.
Exactly. Well, it's not even that I don't think it's rad. I just find it very hard to engage with.
Sure.
Because then they would need to explain. I mean, I guess that's a good way for them to get better is like, hey, I don't know this thing. Can you explain it? Like this opening, if that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
Man, that's like the other thing. You can, I'll like dump on my parents a tiny bit more.
Sure.
It's not like anything terrible. I'm so curious. Did your parents ever like gaslight you for fun on something that doesn't matter, like a factoid that is just totally false?
For fun?
Like, just they decided they saw an opportunity and they were like, and they went for it.
I mean, I remember when they got me to eat rice because they told me it was chopped up noodles. And then I was like, ate it and was like, that was delicious. You fucking lied to me. I'm never trusting you again. that was a lie.
So fucking, oh man. That's
like
unreal.
it worked.
The Hank Lord.
I liked it even, but that was a fucking lie.
Could they have gaslit you more? Could they have covered? Is there something they could have said to make you believe that it's still a chopped up noodle, or were you too in on it?
I don't think so. No, I saw. It was just a different thing.
That's very funny. See, that's like a thing to try to get you. Like, that's a more understandable one. Mine was like, I remember.
Because I was a nightmare trying to get me to eat food.
Yeah, I as someone who is a garbage disposal when it comes to food, that would be a little sad, but I mean, it's not the end of the world. It'd mostly be I mean, I guess it depends. If my kid just wants to eat noodles and they're like getting enough nutrients via other things or whatever, that's fucking great. Noodles are so easy. And then I can have noodles and just put other shit on them. That'd be fantastic. No, the thing my dad did when I was in like 4th grade, something, fifth grade, I don't know. I was reading Aragon, and I started it. I didn't really like it that much, but I still had a concept of like loyalty to an artist or an author, whoever that I did like. And he just for some reason was like, well, it's the same guy who did Calvin and Hobbes, right? I'm like, well, the names are different. He's like, yeah, it's his pen name because like it's 2 different forms of media. I'm like, oh, really? He's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. Fucking repeated that one at school, got clowned on.
Oh no.
I mean, it wasn't like a bully situation because like my friends were also reading Aragon, but but I'm like, in hindsight, that one took years, and in hindsight, I was like, what the fuck? Like, what was gained here aside from just like doing a thing that you're like, hey,
got him.
Now, I was on the fence about reading the book, and this did get me to read the book, but like it's kind of a useless thing, right? Like there are other ways you could have done that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there was other I feel like there was at least a 1 or 2 more that are kind of in that realm of like this served no purpose. But I hate that shit. They wonder why I'm always looking stuff up on my phone as soon as they tell me something. But I'm used to that now. Like that's like I'm using my phone for one of its intended purposes. Like me and Anya are having a conversation, and one of us says something, and the other is like, "I don't think so. I don't. That doesn't sound right."
Mm-hmm.
And then the other person gets to look it up, or they look it up. Someone looks it up, and then the important thing is that someone wins and someone loses out of this interaction.
Hell yeah.
Which we mostly joke about. Like for myself, I'm so fucking used to being wrong now on so many fronts.
Hell yeah.
This isn't like a dig at especially Anya, but like I've just become very accepting of like, yeah, I fucking eat shit. I mean, honestly, look at our podcast. How many fucking times have I had to eat my words, even just on liking a thing. unreal. It's absolutely insane. And it's funny every time. But as far as knowledge checks go, I'm like, I can't lose. I either get to be correct or I get to know the truth. It's a fucking win-win. And my parents can't stand that shit.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. So that's like a big thing is like I want to foster that sort of sense of like if my child asks me something and I don't know, be like, I have no idea. I think it's this, but let's check and then we can learn something together.
True.
Or if she says something, or if I say something and she thinks it's wrong, then I'll be like, that's fine. Like, prove me wrong then. Go, like, find the information. Because I'm going to teach her how to, like, find a source.
It's, like, so important to be okay with just being told you're wrong. Like, it makes such a difference with being able to be a person in the world. Being
able to know you're wrong, and, like, well, accept that you're wrong. And then,
being told take it in.
Take in, like, new information or whatever is super important to me. And in general, as you said.
Yeah.
I think also, like, on that, like, just, like, saying sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't want to, like, you don't want to do it to the point where, like, you're saying sorry for shit that you shouldn't be, of course. But
yeah,
I feel like that shit's hard, dude. That one took me, like, a long time. Not that I was a dick about it or anything previously, but, like, sometimes, even if you still kind of think that you're in the right, like, if it's a thing that doesn't actually matter, like, you can just, like, you just take it. Like,
that's so much harder.
There's, like,
when it's, like, socially, like, it just would be better if you just, like, take it and you're like, oh, but I still think, I guess
that
not even that's one's much harder.
I guess not even necessarily being right, but like at an impasse, maybe something more like that.
Yeah.
But I'm also coming at that from, like, a relationship standpoint, where, like,
totally
sometimes you just gotta I think I was still right, but, like,
you just have to let things
sometimes
go.
You have to let things go, and then also, like, even if you're still, like, this has been the one for me, because me and Anya bicker a lot. And I think in a way that's fine. Like, I think we have a very healthy relationship, and in a way that my dad finds horrifying. Like, even when me and her are just talking, he's like, what, is everything okay? I'm like, what are you talking about? And I'll tell Anya later, and she's like, oh, what? Like, it's just not on the radar for either of us, but he thinks it's, like, problematic. But, like, but when we actually get into it, like, nothing's left unsaid. Like, we settle all of our shit because it's out there, and then we resolve it. But sometimes that means you have to realize that you're a bit of a dick in the moment, and then later you have to be like, and, like, even if you don't intend it, right? Like, sometimes you get heated, and then you need to roll it back a little.
Yeah. Sometimes things don't come out into the world in the way you intended them also.
Oh, that's a big one. You can't say LOL in real life.
You can.
No, you can't.
You probably shouldn't.
I mean, you can. Yeah. Then just make whatever you're saying worse.
LOL.
You suck ass, LOL. Yeah, there's such a shift in how all that stuff is, and some of it is the one about, like, knowledge and, like, finding sources and, like, not even admitting you're wrong, but just, like, confirming what a thing is. I don't know about, did you get lessons for, like, looking up stuff online in school at any point?
We did have.
For you, it might have been when you were a little older, but.
Well, I did have access to computers at school.
But, like,
they didn't fairly young.
They didn't take time to, like, teach you how to find stuff or like what a good source is.
No, it was more like we had the freedom to like fuck around, so I figured stuff out.
The classic.
It's more like I learned way more when I was, not doing what I was supposed to be doing, which was like whatever, doing this like teaches typing program or whatever. That fucking learning, no, nothing gained. But like fucking around with file systems, just because I can, like so much more gained, so much gleaned, things that are like actually useful in life, which is yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, when I was little, I had access to like an old desktop that was completely offline and just had Windows 95 on it or whatever. And like, I learned shit, dude. Like, how to change like, you click a button and a menu comes up and then it says like change desktop background. And you're like, oh shit, you could change that. And then you're like, what else can I change? Then files and whatever else.
Yeah. Like, I was fucking garbage at typing, and then AOL Instant Messenger came out. I got a lot better, a lot, and really fast, because I was just fucking had a reason to do it, and I was doing it.
See, for me, maybe it was like a timing thing, because there was probably stuff in between this, but there are two specific, maybe even three specific things. Two specific things and one vague thing that I remember, like, specifically we had like time dedicated to this at least a few times at certain points. And one was when in like third grade, so it would have been like 7 or 8. They talked about like not putting your like don't share information about yourself online. Which is fine. I think that's good, right? Especially for a child. And like, be careful who you talk to. If you end up talking to someone or whatever, like don't blah 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 blah, all that safety shit. But then kind of in that same, I don't know if you'd call it a series, a lesson, whatever, over the course of how many days, they also went into stuff like how to look things up. And that was very brief because it was like third grade. Like it was tiny. But I remember a couple years later in 5th grade, we had like at least one class session, if not multiple, that I just don't, it's like merged in my brain, like how to find stuff, like just information or like whatever. And I forget, like our teacher had some I like almost like a scavenger hunt type thing. Like she had found stuff in advance that she went way out of her way to like get there, and then we had to try to find like the same thing or something, which was really interesting. And it like went through like Google searching and like advanced tools or whatever else was available. And like, I think that stuff is useful. And then in the same breath was talking about like a reasonable source. Like she tied that shit into it of like, fucking ilovetrump.com is not a reliable source of the statistics versus like a fucking paper published in a journal or whatever, a peer-reviewed scientific paper from like PubMed or something.
I don't know how you teach a kid what sources are good on the internet.
We have talked about it so fucking much, and it's honestly one of the most terrifying things to me because of like how easily, like, you just have to hope that they fucking got it, like that you did well, I guess.
Yeah.
Because like Anya's brother, I don't think that he ever got any of that shit specifically. Probably the safety stuff from his family, but at school they don't fucking talk about it. And a bunch of his former friends or like other guys in his class, like they fell into like the Andrew Tate shit, or like when stuff was happening at Blizzard, they were like, white men are being persecuted at Blizzard. And Anya's brother was like, that's fucking horse shit. Like, oh, what are you talking about? And you just like, because like they did good, he's a good kid. He got there.
Yeah. Or
like if he sees a thing, he like questions it, and he like knows how to kind of confirm it in a way that me or you would. And it's like, we've talked about how to instill that so many times. It's scary, man. That's the one that's terrifying.
Yeah, the like having the like bullshit detector properly aligned. Yeah, because I don't know how I fucking got that right.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I think, honestly, part of it is, like, just being, like, a decent person, I guess. A desire to know, like, the actual truth and a desire to, like, help people combined you're going to be like, well, this seems like it's bad.
Yeah.
This seems like it's wrong morally because it feels very antagonistic or something. And then if that person is sharing a source and you think they're wrong morally, then you would maybe want to check if the thing they're saying is wrong actually.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah,
algorithmic stuff on the internet is so fucking bad about it because you just get fed the same bad shit over and over and over again.
I was on Facebook Marketplace via my mom's Facebook account because I don't have one to buy a copy of Soul Calibur 4 and 5.
The important
Xbox 360. Yeah. The first thing I saw on her page when I opened it up, and this is I truly don't think that she was like, this isn't the shit that she's looking at. It's just what it was deciding to throw at her, right? See what sticks. It was like 2 fucking different articles about the same event. I didn't even fucking check to see if it was true because I didn't need to be mad. But it was like about like something with like a transgender woman in a fencing match and a real woman, like, quote unquote, like decided to just quit and like took a stand against her or whatever and forfeited the match. And one of them was from Fox News and the other one was, I don't fucking know. And I blocked Fox News and the other one, and then I said not interested in this content on both of them because it's like, even if she's not looking at that stuff, which I don't think she is, if she stops to fucking look at it, it's over. It's over. Because Facebook knows she spent 10 minutes reading this article or whatever, and it's game over. She's going to get that again, and if she reads it again, even if she's mad about it, now she's in the angry cycle, which is also bad. Yeah, algorithms are terrifying as well.
Yeah, they just break people's brains when they fall into them.
Yeah. I do want to try to hold off on like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube shorts type of stuff. I don't mind if she watches that at some point, but I think when she's like really little, just for how short form it is and how you can just, there's no end. You just keep going. I want to try to hold that off.
Yeah, stuff like TikTok and even fucking YouTube. Fucking
with autoplay on especially.
Oh yeah.
If parents don't know about, and that's like for me, right? I know about all this shit, but if you're a parent and you don't think about that,
yeah,
it's just, I mean, I've seen the stories, right? They're like, well, they were watching an episode of Bluey and they came back and it was like the fucking creepypasta Bluey, and now the kid's terrified. Nightmare SpongeBob.
Yeah, because like, you know, when you leave a kid with like broadcast television, which is like what my parents would leave me with,
it can only be so bad, dude. On that, like,
yeah, but
especially broadcast.
Yeah, Whereas, like, you can't leave a kid unfettered YouTube. There's so much on there.
Yeah, well, there's so much that slips through the cracks. Shit, look at what me and you have seen just doing the thing where you said like, oh, you type IMG and then the number code. Mm-hmm. Literal cockfighting.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane. And honestly, that's the better end of things we could have seen. I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's a scary place out there. That's why you got to curate. You got to get the Dragon Ball Sailor Moon block. And then the best part will be when you do you kind of like, you get to tailor it as she grows up. So eventually, like, you throw in an episode of Atena in there. Maybe like an episode of Evangelion. I should ask Anya how old she was when she saw it. She's probably like 12 or 10 or something.
Probably.
I don't think she was tiny. I don't think she was tiny.
Once they're 10, that's like fucking anything's lots of things are game.
A lot more things are up for grabs, yeah. And honestly, it's a thing that my parents have like a low, I'll say, tolerance for like music. Like they hear things that like they're very much like, oh, dude, well, this isn't music, this is just garbage or whatever. It's like the fucking South Park episode, right? Where he's like, this is just farting noises. It's like literally kind of that. They were the people who, for the Super Bowl halftime show, they were like, this is the worst halftime show I've ever seen. And my dad was like think of how the whole stadium would have been singing if they had Journey up there. I'm like, Journey is like fucking 87 years old. Like I don't know that they could put on a show the way that they could in like 88. But for me, I'm like, I don't care what, like, I hope that she's into music. It'd make me really sad if she didn't like music at all. But
if she like,
I don't care what
music.
kind. Yeah. But if it's something, like, I can appreciate anything. I'm just happy to have her listening to stuff. Or, like, reading or whatever else. Reading is a big one, too. Kids don't read these days, man.
Yeah, that's a big one. Although I do think about, like, when I was a kid, my favorite book was Huckleberry Finn. That book has the N-word all over it.
For real?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. How old were you? Like, what age were you reading Huck Finn? Kid?
Young.
Kid? Damn. I didn't read that until high school, that I was like, I hate this. For multiple reasons, but like, oh, that's very funny.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But see, again, like, as long as she likes a book. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. It is adventure stuff. But look, she'll have a barrel of laugh, a veil of tears.
True. Also, one of my favorites.
Dude, I have so many good books on lock right now. It's so crazy. I'm locked.
Yeah. Phantom Tollbooth. That was another top tier.
We didn't read it. I haven't vetted it.
It's so good.
We got to do the Phantom Tollbooth cast.
Hell yeah.
I can't imagine that book is long. We could probably bang that one out.
That book is not. No, it's not
It's
that
like
long. It might be. I think it's longer than A Barrel of Veil of Tears, but
I mean, I probably still read that one in like a day. Do you have a rough page count? Could you put it over or under 272 pages?
It has to be under.
Then it's a day.
Yeah.
I mean, like, not a full day. That's like an afternoon or whatever.
I just think the book is more like a real book than A Barrel of Veil of Tears, like in terms of its size, and like where it's like a tiny hardcover thing, not like that, where Barrel Blast is like big square pages.
Yeah, a lot of pictures too.
Yeah, and there are pictures in the Phantom Tollbooth, but I think not as. I think they're not as big.
Sure. I have a few books from my childhood that like my grandma would read to me. I think I've made this comment before, but like, I am going to read Curious George to my daughter, but there's going to be like a little lesson involved about like why Curious George can be fun, but also a little bit problematic.
Yeah.
Or we just skip like the first story where he gets fucking kidnapped from Africa. And then it's just a monkey living in the city, and that's fine.
Yeah, I had this book of it's like a kid's book version of the Greek myths. Love that.
Hell yeah. There was at the used bookstore in town. I wish I would have bought all of the individual ones they had. I bought like a smattering instead of all of them. And part of it was for me because they looked fucking cool, but also I think it is a thing that a child would like. They're like these books about, they're like different sections. Like I think there's one for, there was one for ghosts. There's one for heroes. There's one for like mermaids or whatever they would lump in, like mermaids and other kind of associated creatures with. And I guess the thing is, like, they're all part of the same sort of series, and they're in, like, a shared universe world sort of deal. So there's, like, kind of a continued mythology between all of them. But there's stuff that, like, you would recognize, right? Like, in the heroes section, like, you know, it's classical, like, Greek heroes. It combined with, like, Norse heroes and other stuff, but it's kind of woven together a little bit. The important thing is that they're pretty thin books. They're very big, and they have, like, a ton of fucking images. Like, some of them I think were made for the book, but then they have, like, classical paintings and shit. And, like, it's just a really cool collection of stuff. I'm like, oh, this is perfect. Because, like, reading it is fun, but then also there's just pictures of, like, dragons and whatever. Like, this is the ultimate.
Hell yeah.
It catches everything.
Uh-huh. Yeah, no. Reading's huge. My mom would read to me like every night before I went to sleep.
Anya's been talking about, like, because I'm like, what book should I bring back? She's like, it's too, like, early for it to, like, really matter. I'm like, what are you fucking talking about?
No, you can't. Just just reading out. It's just good. It's just good.
Oh, dude, it's no different than, like, talking to them, right? Like,
yeah.
She's not gonna be old enough to, like, understand
and just playing
it. But...
that and just playing music.
Oh yeah. No, that's it. And Anya and her family doesn't play music in that same way. Anya will listen to music all day at work, but she doesn't like. She doesn't listen to music like the way me or you might listen to music, where it's like, fucking, I'm jamming all day, fill the silence. But I'll pick up the slack on that. There's music and singing, which I didn't really like going to church for any of the 20-ish years that I went to church. However, it was very good for singing and learning like notation, because now that all these churches that my parents go to have fucking screens. You see the lyrics and it's like a sing-along, except you can't actually see the actual music notes.
Oh, weird.
It's really garbage, especially if I don't know the song on the odd time that I acquiesce and go with them. I don't know what I'm supposed to be singing. But back in the day when I was little, like, as you're singing, you see these notes, and then you kind of learn, like, that's what that purpose was, right? Like, for church, like in the 1600s, was musical education in a way. So that was, like, huge. So I gotta be doing all the singing.
Yeah.
Fortunately, not to brag, but I can hold a tune at least. So it's gotta
hell yeah.
Sing songs, sing along to music, find songs to sing.
I think that's like the most important stuff, is like the stuff that's like you're not necessarily even thinking about showing her, but just that's around, like the ambient radiation stuff of what she's exposed to. That shit matters.
Oh, totally. It's so formative. It's like all that, all the stuff that you just don't think about.
Because, like, thought, like, I had access, like, with computers, like, I know so much more about computers just because, like, they were there, and I fucking messed with them. Like, nobody ever fucking taught me anything.
Dude, same. And this is why, like, it's not like, I think it was just harder. Well, I shouldn't say harder. I did fucking stumble into porn accidentally when I was 11. And that's like the last thing I remember in this life. But, so I don't want that happening. Me and I have talked about how, like, the internet feels a little more sanitized. like, I don't think you can access it's. I think it's harder. You're not going to be on a game website and there's just a link that says sexy videos.
You just don't go. You don't go to websites in the same way. It's you're on platforms.
It's much harder. But I still think it's very, because what I'm getting at is that, like, back in the day when I had access to a computer, we had fucking dial-up, so good luck getting anything to load. But also the internet was just like different, so finding stuff just was different. But I do think having a sandbox, especially for a computer, is super important, right? You give them a box of crayons so they like color and draw or do whatever. You give them you like make books available and they can read books. They'll have access to books. You have a computer available that you don't give a shit about and that maybe doesn't have access to the internet, or you've done something or you're monitoring or whatever, and you let them fucking play around and hit buttons.
Yeah.
Or try deleting a thing or doing whatever.
Well, I feel like way more kids are doing that with tablets than like actual computers these days.
Yeah, the tablet thing and phone thing is crazy.
Yeah.
Which is what I've seen vague things of from like teachers and stuff, is like they have no fucking idea how to use a computer. They're great at using an iPad.
Yeah. Yeah. Because how do you learn that shit? But if you have it in front of you, and if you have an iPad, you don't have file systems in the same way on a computer.
And you'll be like
the exploration is different.
Yeah, exactly. Or especially like, I mean, that first, maybe you remember, like, or not remember specifically, but like that first time that you download an image and you have no fucking idea where it went, but you know you downloaded it. And now the hunt is on.
Yeah.
It's always a good time.
I feel like computers are, it's much easier to find. Like, there's usually a way to click on the thing and go open folder.
Yeah, that's true. But then you can see like where it went, and then maybe if you don't like that, it gets you thinking about like you want it somewhere else or whatever.
I had some other thing I was thinking about, but now I've lost it.
Damn. On child rearing or on podcast?
On child stuff. Oh, that was it. I remembered. Like the thing of like, so much of what kids get into is because their parents have shit lying around, like old media that their parents have lying around. Like kids getting super into CDs because their parents have like a CD collection in the basement or whatever that they don't use anymore.
Yeah, man.
And so that shit becomes cool because you're unearthing it. That's the thing you... Yeah. Whether it's good or not, it's just like, but it's like the old thing that's not the thing they're used to experiencing, so it becomes like much more powerful.
Yeah, exactly. My dad is like, I always yap about Yacht Rock, which is on now. For anyone curious and who for some reason has Sirius XM, they are playing Yacht Rock again. We've hit that time of year, even though it's fucking freezing out still. And my dad is like, why do you like Yacht Rock so much? Like, I don't, like, it's fine, but like these, you know, like Africa and that, and like all the names are just escaped, like Steely Dan and shit. It's like what? I'm like, you're the one who had a fucking 8 racks worth of CDs. Steely Dan and Toto. It's not my fault. I'm like 8 years old going through the CDs, which at that point, like, he kind of didn't like. The thing that I wasn't allowed to just rifle through is like the vinyls, right? Because like if you scratch that bad, it's kind of game over. Or if you handle it bad. Not that I couldn't, but he's like, just, you know, be careful. But like CDs, I was just like in that shit.
That's so funny because I would be so much more. We scratch a CD, it's fucking useless.
I think it was
so much nervous about giving a kid a CD personally.
Yeah. But I think it was because like the vinyl, like they were older, right? Like they were.
Yeah, sure.
Because like there wasn't, I guess there was some overlap, but there wasn't like a ton of overlap. So like the CDs were like greatest hits or like, I don't know, Van Halen or Yacht Rock or whatever. But then the vinyls were like Journey album, like Pink Floyd albums and shit that like a little bit more sentiment was
the stuff he cared about more, probably.
Yeah. That didn't.
Because this is the thing. Like one of the reasons I don't care about CDs and I hate them is because they were so easy to scratch.
Yeah.
They just fucking like I've had too many experiences with that shit just being broken. It's like, what if they were free? What if they were freed from their mortal coil and were just like the pure file? It was good, well ripped, and uncorruptible. I mean, it could get corrupted, like literally. That's a thing that could happen. But there's a much more durable thing that I can move between hard drives.
I think the funniest thing is how inconsistent CDs are about getting scratched. Right? You have that one that is like has the teeniest little hairline thing in it.
Yeah,
and it doesn't, and it just doesn't work. And then you have the other one that's beat to shit, looking like a cat clawed all over it. It just works perfectly, no issues, no noticeable problems. Or like sometimes the CD works and sometimes it doesn't. We had a vinyl that must have had. There was a Journey album that must have had like a nick in it, exact same spot. It would just fuck up right at the little nick. And it was the funniest thing every time. But a CD, sometimes it's like luck, depending on the scratch. Now, about like playing with stuff as a kid, the importance of the vinyls was I had to contend with that because I knew that like I should be more careful with the vinyls or whatever. Then one day I saw some dude either online or on TV doing like DJ shit. And he had the vinyls, right?
Oh no!
And I knew that we had a lot of vinyls, and I knew that we had a player. And I sat for so long going through like hundreds of vinyls or whatever. Like not all of them, but I was like trying to figure out like what one is like I knew that I shouldn't do it to like the Pink Floyd vinyl, clearly. So I'm like, what one can I make my masterpiece with? I forget what I even chose, but I like eventually my kid brain was like, I think this one is like, I can't even remember what it was, but I made a choice and I set it down on the turntable and I'm like, and it was the coolest thing. I was like, this could be me. And it wasn't. It never was. But it was very fun.
Hell yeah.
And then I put the vinyl in the middle of the bins. So that it wouldn't be discovered. Yeah, it did. I played it afterwards. It sounded fine, but I don't know, man. I don't know what he knows.
That's so.
It was very funny. Yeah, hiding it like his fucking porn on the computer. Or something. The most taboo act of all time. But that shit's important. Like that's good stuff.
Your daughter goes through your magic cards and picks out the one to destroy, and then puts it back in the middle of the binder.
As long as she's just coloring on it, I don't care. I mean, as long as she doesn't destroy it so bad that I can't put it in sleeves. Some people
folds it in half as many times as possible.
Yes, to put in her pocket because she likes the art so much that she can't like not do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't bother me none. You know?
Well,
I don't know.
If she leaves them in her pockets and they go through the washing machine.
I guess. Well, that would be annoying because there's probably other clothes in there, and then it's a whole.
That changes the quality of the card.
Yeah, but like I wouldn't care if she destroyed a card. It's just a thing.
Yeah.
Even if it's like an expensive one, like I think the most expensive one I have is I haven't bought anything over $20, so it's like meh.
Yeah.
I play them on the sleeve, brother. I know the risks.
Hell yeah.
Not that a sleeve would protect going through. They could be triple sleeved. I don't think that's washer resistant. I think that's I don't think they're rated for that. Maybe a bit of water. They could maybe take like a tiny swim at triple sleeved, but
if they're like graded in like a graded case.
Yeah, if they're in the shitty, stupid plastic thing that's the worst invention of collecting that's ever existed. God,
yeah, the thing you have to spend a lot of money on.
To not use, exclusively to look at.
So it has a number on it.
If she finds magic cards, though, and like is rifling through them, that would make me so happy. Because like looking through Pokemon cards was like pretty good, but I also like new Pokemon, right? So that had like I liked looking at them. I liked looking at the flavor text and like thinking about it. But Magic is so much more open, I feel like, you know. Not that Pokemon isn't, but like if you're looking at Pokemon cards, you're thinking about Pokemon. You're just thinking about Pokemon. Yeah, but if you're looking at Magic and you don't really know what it is, you're thinking about whatever's on the card, and that can inspire a lot of imagination.
Yeah, you're looking at Cloud. Final Fantasy.
You're looking at SpongeBob.
Yeah.
And Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
Oh man. I don't
looking
have those.
Aang.
Ones, so it's fine. Oh, look at Aang. She might be looking at Aang. There's a non-zero chance she's looking at Aang. We'll see. We'll see what the set looks like. See, that would be fun for her though, because she would know who Aang is.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that was a funny one. His brother watched Avatar because it was on TV when he was whatever age. They would have like reruns or something. She like just did not give a shit about it. I'm like, that's so funny. I don't know if it's because it was like in the middle of it, or like she was probably more in the headspace of like he's watching a thing, so it's for kids, so I'm not gonna like pay full attention or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, you missed out. You fucked up. You watched all of Evangelion, but you didn't watch this?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot to look forward to. And a lot to fucking figure out. But we'll
Yeah, but you know, there. It's one day at a time.
Literally one day at a time. God bless you for dealing with my schedule up until now.
Well, look, ultimately, my one thing is like, how can the podcast keep going? I'd like to keep doing it in whatever form it takes.
Yeah.
How can that happen?
And that's my urge as well.
Yeah.
Which will, you know.
We're not married to any aspect about it except like, you know, it's a collaborative thing.
Yeah. And I like, yeah, I think the absolute worst case scenario is just like a much more inconsistent schedule, but like with stuff.
Yeah.
I do want to have like
breaks.
I do want to have updates of like if it is looking like it's going to be a long, like there's only going to be one episode this month or whatever. Like an update of like just what's cooking or something, or like what we're, you know, get something out or like an article or whatever. Because it's fun. It's a good time. It is very the fucking podcast is dead clickbait is very like a funny idea because it's been through like a pandemic and a war, moved across countries like multiple times. And it's like, nope, a kid is just too much.
Oh yeah,
like
this fucking child of Alaris is here, and it's just destroyed everything.
Yeah, just consumed. Decimated.
Yeah. Anyway, we got to yap.
We did. Yeah. Holy shit! Almost 2 hours.
Yeah.
Don't expect this again at some point. I don't know when this is coming out, but you know.
Got a few more weeks of potentially happen, but yeah. Salt Circle Podcast, gmail.com, Salt Circle Pod on Twitter, Salt Circle Pod.bsky.social, or on YouTube at Salt Circle. That shit's in the description.
I'm on YouTube at Drathius. Don't fucking expect anything.
Hell yeah. Now your YouTube's gonna explode with all your new child time.
Content fucking coming is just gonna be all over.
You're gonna be gaming with her.
There's probably a non-zero. I mean, that's content, dude. People eat that shit up. Whenever Northern Lion's daughter appears on stream and says anything, like that's the views skyrocket. It's too cute. You can't you can't compete with that.
It's true.
I did have the funny idea of like, you know, sometimes you have to do the podcast, but also you got to take care of the kids. So I'll just like have her in my arms and she can like babble on as a guest. Go. What do you think about this comic we read this week? Like that.
Oh,
interesting. Yeah, I hadn't considered that perspective.
Anyway,